So I've got some leftover coconut cream that you can see I use for a different dish, and I thought, well, rather than waste that, because I got some fish, some barramundi, which is one of our favourite fishes, I thought I'd make a Thai style fish curry in coconut sauce. G'day folks, Andy here from McDowall Manor. Start with some root vegetables. I'll cut up some potatoes, some carrot and an onion, of course. I always start with the onion with a bit of ginger and garlic. There they are there. I normally add a bit of tamarind. You can use any sort of strong citrusy flavour. This is another one of those dishes that I do that you can feel free to substitute any like ingredient. So I'm going to belt in some cauliflower because I happen to have it. I'll probably throw some frozen peas in towards the end just to add a bit of green colour. I normally use turmeric, which goes beautifully with coconut milk or cream. Those two flavours really complement each other. So I don't need to add corn for a bit of yellow colour because she'll have plenty of yellow colour. But let's just see how this unfolds, shall we? I'll start by cutting up those veggies. To get them cut up, I'm just going to add them to a pre-warmed wok with some peanut oil. I tend to use olive oil when I'm doing Middle Eastern or Mediterranean dishes. If I'm doing Asian dishes, I'll either use peanut or soy or a combination of both. So there you go, let's cut up those veggies. 4 flavour elements that I tend to balance when I think Thai. And this is only Thai style. Paul will probably laugh from life in Thailand and say, oh Andy, what the hell are you doing? But it doesn't matter. This is what we like. This is what we kid ourselves as Thai. So the 4 flavour groups that I balance and think about is sour, salt, sweet, hot or pet. So you don't have to use fish sauce. If you don't like the taste of it, use salt or use soy. If you don't like lime, just add extra of the tamarind. Oh, there he is there. Or go with lemon. Or go with kaffir lime leaves if you want to. Really, I should be using sugar, palm sugar. Brown sugar I have heaps of it at the moment. I don't have to muck around, and that's what I'm going to use. So there you go. So we'll start with the base, which is let's get those veggies fried off in a bit of ginger, garlic and a little bit of tamarind. Onion diced, I always start with that with about a teaspoon of ginger and garlic. So regular viewers know that I didn't harvest my own ginger this year. I haven't harvested any garlic, and even the turmeric I haven't harvested. But this recipe will give you a fair idea why I grow those things, because by gee, we use a lot of them. Potatoes and the carrots chopped up, they'll go in now. Throw probably half a teaspoon of tamarind paste in there. Bloody carb baby. I love the smell of that ginger and garlic and onion frying up. Oh, it's beautiful. Throwing the hard veggies in first. Softer veggies like zucchinis and peas, you'd leave till the last bit because you don't want to overcook them. So anything that's a bit hard and going to take a while to cook, we'll throw in now. That'll include the cauliflower. Stir fry, keep that moving around so it doesn't burn on the bottom. You can either do it by flipping, shaking the pot, or using a spatula like I have there. Once the onion looks like it's soft and cooked, I'm going to add the coconut milk. Actually add a little bit of extra water. Obviously what you're doing at this point in time, you've sort of seared the outside of the veggies, is the theory, and now you're going to boil them as well. I'm usually at this stage I'll add I do a good shaker. I'll give you a look. See the colour there before the turmeric, and let's see how much turmeric I add. I'd guess it's probably close to a tablespoon. But I like turmeric. I lied, it's closer to a teaspoon, so it looks like that. A good shaker of the fish sauce. Remember, if you don't like fish sauce, you can use soy sauce, that's okay. What you're really doing is adding salt. I can't really see it, but that was about a teaspoon as well. The lime juice will be less than that, so it'll probably only be half a teaspoon. It gets overpowering pretty quick, so go gentle with that one. A generous pinch of chili flakes. And that is actually chilli that we dry and grind up ourselves. Normally the turmeric would be as well. The ginger would be fresh. We tend to chop that up or pickle it. Anyway, there you go. So I'll mix that all around. A tablespoon of brown sugar and mix that in as well. So I gave that a little bit of a taste and added a little bit extra brown sugar. If it's too sour, add sweet. If it's too salty, add a little bit of sour and sweet. You can see what I'm getting at. You just balance with the opposite, and that should help you out. Try to do it slowly rather than big dollops, because it's easier to add a little more, but it's very hard to go backwards. I'm also going to add a little bit more chilli to that, baby. You can see I'm starting to bring that to a boil. I'm going to let that boil until the veggies get a little soft, but not mushy. So we'll let that go for a little while. I'm going to put a lid on because I actually want to keep as much of the sauce as I can at this point in time. That's because I'm adding fish in a little while. A little down the track, 5 minutes, 6 minutes down the track, you can see I've added peas, frozen peas. That's why they're kind of whitish. That's really only to get a bit of colour in here. You can see I've got the yellow sauce, I've got the orange carrots, a lot of white, and I was looking for a bit of green in there as well. Use whatever you want that's green. When I get to the stage that I can cut the carrot, like that bit, with the spatula or egg lifter, that's when I stop, because that's cooked enough. Alright, so I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to take most of the veggies out of there, pretty much all of them, and then I'll put in, sorry for the swing, the barra. Now that bit of barra I'm going to cut in half, because that'll do half for me, half for my Rozzy, and my son can have the big piece. So that'll only take about 8 minutes to cook, and I'll cook that in the same juice once I've taken the veggies out. Then I'll recombine the veggies. I've got some rice on in a rice cooker. Yes, I do know that's the lazy way to cook rice. Nonetheless, that's how we're doing it. And then we'll be good to plate, folks. So the veggies are out. Don't be too anal about it. There's the odd bit of carrot or something in there. I'm going to bring that back. It's just starting to boil, and I'll pop the barra, which is now chopped straight in, back on with that barra. And the idea is that that steams the top as well as boils the bottom. So remember, don't overcook this. Keep a close eye. At this point, the rice is on. It's in the cooker. Shouldn't be much longer. Sorry about the swing. You'll remember the fishes are boiling. It won't take long. We'll add the veggies back in then to warm it all up, and by now you should have commenced cleaning off your bench. Now you're pretty much a one pot, which is that wok. I've got that bowl, which I also cleaned the rice in, so I've made multiple uses of that. And by now I give you permission to pour your first homemade rum and coke, and you may commence. Now don't go before this, because if you go too early, things could go bad. Alrighty. You can see the barra's turning white while that one piece is starting to open up. That's just a side bit off a bigger piece. When those bigger bits start to open up, we know she's ready to come off the heat. It won't be far off now. The veggies, and I've turned it off now. I probably turned it off a little early. But bear in mind, I'm going to have to rewarm this, so that'll cook the fish a bit more, so that should work perfectly. And now I'm just sitting back waiting for that rice and sipping a homemade rum. Here's your final product, folks. Now I know this one tastes alright, because as I always say, taste it along the way, will ya? What do you think, Anthony? What?
It's good on you.
Good on you, buddy. Back for seconds. I've scored. It's a hit. So if you enjoyed my slightly tongue-in-cheek, irreverent, that's better, approach to cooking, or you like gardening or making things like alcohol, bread, sausages, jams, sauces, all that stuff, I'd love it if you could subscribe to the channel. I try to answer every comment that I get, but hopefully most of all you've enjoyed what you've seen. Alright folks, you have a good one, eh? See ya!